Another week, boys, and another TWAB. This week in Destiny, we're fine-tuning our PvP loadouts. We've got 3 new beautiful crucible maps coming next week, and we want to make sure we're ready. So grab that rose you've been dominating with, and let's get into it. All right. This week's topics: PvP map pack launch, the Pantheon boss profiles, the Pantheon Bungie rewards, new Rahool reputation and exotic system, okay, the final shape shader icon revamp, the PvP strike team update, the Superblack shader now available, Windows 7 and 8 deprecation. Oh, okay, all right. So for my Windows people, you'll have to move on. Now, PvP map pack with update 7.3.6.4 this Tuesday, May the 7th, 3 new maps will be coming into the Crucible, Cirrus Plaza, Eventide Labs, and Dissonance. We gave our first look at these maps last month during our Destiny 2 into the light dev live stream number 3. In that stream, we provided a walkthrough of each map with discussion around our design goals, creation process, and artistic considerations with developing these maps. If you haven't checked it out yet, head over and watch it now. With only a few days until the release, we wanted to take a final look at these maps from a slightly different angle. That's why we partnered with our favorite community cartography, Relic, to develop call-out map overviews. We saw this yesterday. It looks really good. We've been fans of its call-out maps for years, and we are thrilled to work with them on this new set of Crucible maps. Let's jump in and take a look. All right, so Eventide Labs. Eventide Labs is set in a long-forgotten human colony research outpost on Europa that Aramis chose to use as a refueling station. Oh, and here are the call-outs. Here we go. So you got the initial spawn points here and here. And by the way, people use this for things like trials and stuff like that. Heavy ammo here. Special ammo for when we do have special there. Okay. And then all the different call zones. Now, look, let me just say this. I would say 90% of players don't remember call zones, but they do help. Because if you're running on burnout or something, you're like, hey, candles, you know what I mean? Things like that. That's an immediate where you're you beat in on where the enemy is. So upper glacier, lower glacier. I mean, this is for the people that really take it seriously, obviously, you know what I mean? The best call out in all of PvP though, guys, if you want to know, is he's right there. That right there, that tells me everything I need to know. When I'm like, where? Right there. Oh my God. You should have just said it sooner. I got him. Now, with initial spawns near point A at the warehouse and near point C at the ice caves, players will make their way to contest the servitor area that holds point B and a valuable heavy ammo crate. But be careful. While the interior of the map by Promenade and Upper Glacial is more close-quartered battle focus, a handful of longer sight lines in the space between air dock and loading bay means you have to ensure that you approach carefully or you may be on the wrong side of a sniper rifle. So he's talking about up here in this area, right? Is it this area he's talking about? It says air dock and loading bay. Yep. So air dock, loading bay, there's going to be somebody right here with a pulse rifle. You know what I mean? And they're going to catch these lanes. But let's be real. You'll be able to close the gap just fine with a hand cannon. I think this map, you'll be just fine. Now, Cirrus Plaza. Our next map takes us to Neptune. Cirrus Plaza is set in a shopping and entertainment center on Neomuna. These are the callouts right here. Okay, so initial spawn points on either side. Very balanced map here. Heavy ammo right there in the middle. Special crates whenever you need them. You got your balcony area. Okay. Now, something to keep in mind about this map, it is still on one level. I originally thought we were going to have multiple levels. Kind of gave me the same vibes as that old Halo Reach map. If you remember, you would have the elevator chute that would take you to the top. Somebody would be waiting with a sword or a shotgun. It's still on one level here. I'm hoping Bungie will migrate back to giving us multi-level maps like that, because I like that. Maybe they're concerned that there's going to be too much camping on top side. Who knows? But I'm curious to see how this one plays out. Beautiful looking map though. Now, there are 4 distinct areas on Cirrus Plaza with the arcade, restaurant, aquarium, and an atrium, and players will spawn in the arcade near point A and the restaurant near point C. The atrium will be an area of interest as players will seek the heavy ammo crate that spawns in the middle and battle to earn the valuable high ground. However, with sight lines spanning multiple floors and players battling for points B nearby, Guardians will need to get in and out quickly or ensure they have teammates watching their back. They say sight lines spanning multiple floors. As far as I know, there's this one little lip area that you can get up on. So that is a level, but you can't go down in here. As far as I know, we'll see. If they actually allow us to truly go back. No one jumped on it during the live stream. Is this map pack free? Yes. Bungie has been on this free tour right now, man. Everything has been free. Does this mean you've played the maps? No, I have not played the maps. I have not. All right, now Dissonance. If you've always wanted to PvP on a terraform pyramid ship, then we've got you covered. Equal parts beautiful and haunting, Dissonance is set on the Witness's former ship, Essence, which was terraformed by the Traveler. What a gorgeous map here. These are the callouts, guys. You got your heavy spawn in there, middle spawn points on either side. Okay, I like this little the communion area that you can come up in. I think most people are probably not going to hang around Mare, but we'll see. But this area is going to be this reminds me of the old you remember that map back in D1, guys? And it had the Vex statues up top, and it was like a circular platform that you can get up on, and it had this bridge area that went to the back, and it had this entire back area. I don't know, I can't remember the name of that one. I think it came in Rise of Iron. This kind of makes me think of that. Now, with initial spawn points near the fossils at point A and the situ at point C, the map offers somewhat direct paths through the middle, where players will be drawn to orbits to engage in heated brawls over the heavy ammo and cross the bottom of the map towards point B. All right. Now, I want to point out something that Bungie brought up in the live stream. These maps, they actually brought in PvP players, and a lot of them pitch their thoughts and their ideas about the maps, and it seems like they played a big role in how these maps are going to be structured. And so that's interesting, because normally in the past, Bungie wouldn't have done that. So I'm curious to see how it plays out with them actually taking that into consideration. Now, new territory. When these maps arrive on May the 7th, they'll be on a separate 3v3 playlist called New Territory. So you can enjoy the new experience these maps offer on demand. Oh my God. The playlist will replace the 3v3 quick play node and feature the 3 new maps with the following game modes: Survival, Elimination, Clash, and Collision. Be sure to pick up the introductory quests from Shax for more details on the maps and the playlist. Additionally, while New Territory is the designated playlist for the new maps, the maps will be available in other playlists and the private lobby as usual. Lastly, New Territory will be available until the end of the season, at which point any player who engaged in the playlist will be awarded with the new Slaycation emblem. Ah, look at that, guys. That looks good. I like it. So this is really good, because for me, nothing's more aggravating than like a new map comes out, which rarely happens in Destiny, but if it did, and then it's like behind all these other maps, and I'll get it one time in like a 3-hour play session. It would be nice to be able to just jump in and experience the new maps right out the rip and see how that is. We need map voting in lobbies. That's a D3 thing. Yeah, map voting. I don't know why it's so complicated and why so many developers have taken map voting out of their games, but map voting would be nice. The only thing I can think of is maybe they're concerned people are going to choose Javelin over and over. All right, the Pantheon boss deep dive. The Pantheon is upon us. The new PvE raid gauntlet opened this week, featuring 4 bosses as part of the first wave. With more bosses on the way each week, we wanted to take a moment to highlight the targets you've been tasked with taking down. We've got the details to ensure you know thy enemies well. So the Vanguard Guardian Dispatch all points bulletin. Defenders of the city, you are tasked with the elimination of the following targets. Gorgoroth. Classification: Hive, Blood of Oryx, Ogre, Worm Hazards, Void Eye Beam, Venomous Gaze, Unstable Light, Monstrous Strength, and Durability. Intel: Ogres are forged through torches, trials, and dark rituals from corrupted and deformed thralls known as Unborn. They know only pain and are conditioned to hate and despise the light. Gorgoroth, aka Greg, is a hive ogre infested with burrowing parasites related to the worm gods and committed to Oryx's service. One of the most powerful ogres ever known, Gorgoroth was felled aboard the Dreadnought by the same brave fire team that delivered the Taken King his final death. Vanguard operatives uncovered that Gorgoroth was enlisted as a vessel to both tide violence directly to Oryx and corrupted hordes of stolen light from Oryx's conquest. The ogre's flesh also served as a containment for the Tablet of Ruin. I like that they also tied too. Gorgoroth was enlisted as a vessel to both tide violence directly, so similar to what we did in Season of the Witch. A little lore background. Of note, recover from Gorgoroth's remain Tablet of Ruin ×1. The item has been vaulted for proper containment. Deciphered Hive Apocrypha suggested Gorgoroth was fond of flower petals. Oh, he was a romantic. Daughters of Savathun would send warriors with petals stuffed beneath the chidden as deathly delights for the ogre. Daughters of Savathun would send warriors with petals stuffed beneath their kind as deathly delights for the ogre. Where's that? Oh, their exoskeleton. Okay, where at on Gorgoroth's body would flower petals be? Have we ever noticed flower petals? Is there actually flower petals on him? He didn't always look like that. All right, well, Gorgoroth is a florist, and I hate that he was stuck in service to Oryx, but hopefully in the next life he could chase that dream. All right, Caretaker. Classification: Scorn, Abomination, Altar, Resonant, Elixir, former House Unknown, Worm, Altered, Hazard, Scale Drone Swarm, Overcharged Ether Blast, Sacred Demilitarization, Resonant Empowerment, Intel, slain by the intrepid fire team that stormed the sunken pyramid in the fitted courts of Savathun. The Caretaker is a being of which we know little. It resembles a scorn abomination, but has been the subject of several experiments and is believed to have been host to a worm. The Caretaker was entrusted with a collection of worm spawn as well as other entities the Witness and Woke had obtained to be analyzed and stored within the pyramid. Reports from fire team raiding the sunken pyramid mention that the Caretaker appears to have been both victim to an overseer of experiments seeking to use worms and scorn together. Of note, multiple fire teams have commented on what appears to be pet mutations that are believed to have belonged to the Caretaker. Whether these were rejected experiments or unsanctioned creations isn't known. There's a discrepancy in the number of worm spawn marked as collected from the pyramid and those delivered to the tower's vault containment. Guardians who have information regarding their whereabouts should submit a report to Vanguard leadership. Poor guy, man. Poor guy. A Lynxney former House Unknown. I like this little lore background. I actually didn't know all this. Did you guys know about this? All right. Oh, it just skips the third encounter. Okay. Atrax, Fallen Exo, the Wild Card. Classification, Elixir, Exo, House Salvation, Baroness, Ex-House of Devil's Council, Hazards, Modified Shock Rifle, Extinction Protocol, Self-Replication, Teleportation, Stasis Empowerment, Intel. Exos are humanoid machines that house a living mind. Atrax 1 obtained this technology from a Braytech station orbiting Europa. Atrax mind commands multiple copies of her exo frame. Before converting her form, Atrax acted as counsel to Aramis. Really? Caliph House Salvation for many years. Atrax was entrusted with the command of the Deepstone Crypt. She was destroyed by the Guardian fire team that brought the Morning Star down from orbit. I guess that would make sense considering that was beyond light. But she was on the council. Okay. Atrax 1 created multiple copies of herself to deceive foes. Fire teams encountering this tactic in the future are advised to locate the original target and focus a simultaneous strike. Atrax was at one time seen as a voice of reason and order, able to speak to the hearts of the Lynxing youth in House Salvation. What the hell happened to Aramis? Are we still going to finally deal with her? Or is that just in a future episode? I don't think she's going to be in the final shape, huh? Now, of note, the Hidden have relayed rumors that a copy of Atrax's one mind exists stored somewhere on Europa that is yet to be verified. At least 2 of the initial 6 fire team members that destroyed Atrax believe they destroyed a clone and that the real Atrax still lives. This is under investigation. Atrax was known to prefer synthetic lubricants when undergoing maintenance. Why? Why is that in here? What an odd thing to include. What? All right. Well, fellas, you know what to show up with. Come across Atrax, right? Make sure it's synthetic. She likes to be oiled down. I know it's such a weird thing to put in the lore. Yeah, it turns out she's really into lube. Okay. ZO'AURC, explicator of planets, classification, manufacturer. I've actually never just close-up looked at him. He looks amazing. Cabal Shadow, Legion of Senator, and Clone. Hazards, Cabal, Magma Launcher, Searing Beam, Column of Flame, Magma Launcher, Compression Blast, Paracausal Shielding, Resonant Empowerment. Intel ZO'AURC is a Cabal clone created by the deposed Emperor Callus and is assigned to a detachment of the Shadow Legion forces aboard the Witness's personal pyramid ship. According to the Vanguard decryption team, ZO'AURC, who was granted the title Explicator of Planets, has surveyed a collection of worlds conquered by the Blackfeet for an unknown purpose. Preliminary theories span weighing the worlds for discipleship to searching for the veil or a method of contributing to the final shape. Weighing the worlds for discipleship. Wow. Of note, reports conclude that even the Shadow Legion was not immune to Nezrak's torment. ZO'AURC details his own nightmares and more reports of nightmares and violent incidents among his forces. ZO'AURC's personal logs have been decoded. It seems that whatever their official goal was, they were personally cataloging worlds that had once been part of the Cabal Empire, but were no more. Okay, little lore background. Now, the Pantheon Bungie rewards, and if the thrill of the hunt wasn't enough, your success in Pantheon will nab you not only some loot in-game, but also the opportunity to add some heroic Bungie rewards to forever mark your accomplishments, including the Godslayer title pin and the Pantheon Raid Ring. Sexy! The Pantheon Raid Ring features a legendary re-envisioning of our iconic first Raid Ring launched in 2020. Beyond the striking raid symbol as the focus of the ring, owners will also have a private reminder of the importance of loyalty in the face of adversity. Etched on the inside is a message that reads, "Glory comes easy when you have allies you can trust." The epitome of strength and camaraderie, the Pantheon Raid Ring stands as a testament to the valor and unity found in the heat of battle. The special Bungie Rewards offer is available for purchase only to players who complete all encounters from any tier of the Pantheon Destiny 2 by June the 3rd, 2024. The Godslayer title pin will also be available for purchase via Bungie Rewards for players who complete the Godslayer title by June the 3rd, 2024. I love this right here. The epitome of strength and camaraderie. I love this, but at the same time, I wonder how you feel whenever you see, like when Les and I get into it on a day one and we're fucking burning each other up. How much camaraderie is actually there? All right, Rahool's frequent Decryptor program. The experience of grinding out new exotic armor can be time-consuming process. It can take quite a few runs to get the drop you're looking for, and many more to get one that has stats to support your build. Besides that, with exotic armor pieces often forming the backbone of a powerful build, new players are regularly asked to spend a long time tackling challenging content solo before being able to run builds that support the most effective tactics. Luckily, the Econ team has established a good working relationship with the Tower number 1 Cryptar over the last year as we added exotic armor focusing, and we have managed to help Rahool set up a new promotional program of sorts that makes farming the armor you want more deterministic and less dependent on rotators. Starting in the final shape, Rahool is going to be the source for any new exotic armor that we release. When you first talk to Rahool after the final shape launch, he will introduce you to a new reward program tied to his brand new reputation track. The idea is simple. The more you decode engrams with him, the more you increase your reputation with him. Once you completely fill the reputation track once and reset your rank, Rahool will allow you into an elite club, giving you access to a new tier of focusing. Now, once you become one of Rahool's Engram Insiders, he was very proud of that name, so be nice to him, you'll be able to purchase any piece of exotic armor for any character on your account for 1 exotic Engram and 1 exotic cipher. In addition to the previous focusing options, because this is tied to Rahool's new reputation track, there is new weekly limits to using this tier of focusing. Okay, as long as you still have exotic ciphers and engrams, you could keep rolling armor, but we already have focusing. Now, with this change, we're also altering the way that old sources of exotic armor work. First, lost sectors will keep the same drop rates for exotics, but will instead drop engrams whenever they would have previously dropped gear. Neomuna will also still drop new exotic armor when you complete a Vex Strike Force encounter, but we won't be adding any more new armor to the drop list after Season of the Wish. So for those of us that were hoping to get into Vex Strike Force and do the knockout system for the new exotics, you're not going to be able to do that in the final shape. Now, with these changes, we know you're wondering how long will it take to get this newfangled tier of focusing. I've got the world first race to prepare for. Well, what? Without going to the exact numbers, the actions that will give the most reputation will be precision decryption, aka tier 2 focusing, followed by advanced decryption when opening an exotic engram, and last but also least, opening a prime engram. So if you want to be ready for the witnesses forces as soon as possible, make sure to stock up on exotic engrams and ascendant shards before June the 4th. As with a little more than a full stock of exotic engrams, you'll be able to start focusing new armor. Holy crap. All right, so let me get this right. So tier 2 focusing is a single piece. All right, so what they're saying right here is to save your exotic engrams. And I know probably many of you have a number of them sitting on you. And you're going to use those exotic engrams to decode, aka tier 2 focusing. And that will give you the most reputation on the reputation track. And the idea of getting your rank all the way up here is so that you could become one of Rahool's Engram Insiders. And this is where you'll be able to purchase any piece of exotic armor for any of your characters on your account for 1 exotic engram and 1 exotic cipher. And if I'm understanding this correctly, we're talking new exotics, right? You still need ciphers. You're still gonna need ciphers. No, you're gonna be able to do exotic lost sectors, but they just drop exotic engrams and you'll take them to go decode, which would then contribute to Master Rahool's track. Up to 5, you can stack them. All right, guys, start saving up your ciphers. Start saying, yeah. And we're going to have an entire like prep guide. This was not something I was expecting. So this is going to have to be on that guide as well. The current system is fine, but sure, whatever. Yeah, but when a new exotic rolls out in the current system, can you focus it? Don't you have to go obtain it first? You either have to go do Vex Strike Force or go do Lost Sectors, and then you can focus it. You still have to go discover it. The reason why this is different is you're going to obtain it directly through Rahool. Now, the other side of things is, are the new exotics, can you not get them to drop anywhere else? So like if I'm out and an exotic engram drops on me, can that new exotic armor still drop for me? I don't know, man. I don't know. This is, you know what I think this is really coming back to, guys? I think this is all going to tie into exotic class items. And remember, those are going to be random. I don't know exactly how those are going to be dropped. I'm assuming it's going to somehow be tied into that. And those will be random. You know, the spirit of whatever exotic with the spirit of another. It's random. We're going to have to just wait for more information on it. You only get actual exotics through GMs, Lost Sectors, Vex, Strike Force, and other. And that's it. No, 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 no. Lost Sectors. Hold on, buddy. Lost Sectors don't drop. Right here, it says Lost Sectors will keep the same drop rates for exotics, but it will instead drop Engrams. So it seems like everything is going into Engram farming. I don't know about other sources like Grandmasters and stuff. Guys, I think overall this is a win. I think this is a win. Because what if you don't want arms? But arms are dropping that day from Lost Sectors. You go get an exotic Engram and you focus in on the exotic of your choice. You know what I mean? And again, I still maintain, I don't know how this is going to play into exotic class items. The only thing is, we need some other way, because how do we farm exotic ciphers? How do we farm it? I don't even know. I mean, you pick one up from Rahool, right? You don't. You go to ZO'AURC. All right. Let's just keep reading. Shader icon revamp. With the finest shade, we're upgrading the look and design of the shader icon layout. Shaders are a cool way a player can provide a unique look and feel to their Guardian, and we wanted to help continue to make that a better experience. Our goal with this update is to help make the shader icons more accurately reflect the colors and textures they will apply. I've actually had this multiple times, but oh my god, this is what in the bedazzle. Currently, there are some issues that can make the experience of applying a shader inconsistent. The first being that while each shader applies 6 colors, only 4 are currently shown on the shader icon. This can sometimes result in the shader appearing differently than players may expect from the icon preview. Adding to this is the fact that all 4 color sections of the current shader icon are equal in shape and size, making it difficult to distinguish what the main colors will be when applied. There are also many shaders that have unique glows that players strive for, and with the current design, they are not represented. Gambit Jadestone is a great example of this. Gambit Jadestone shader icon, current. To help address these issues, we made updates to the shader icon design that includes all 6 colors for the shader. We are also changing the design in a way that makes the primary colors appear to take more space than the secondary colors for a more accurate representation with most gear items. Glows are also affected in the updated design, so it'll be easier to distinguish those shaders within your shader selection screens. All right, so this is the old and this is the new. Okay, we tested many different design solutions for this goal and eventually settled on adding a diamond to the center of the current icon design and changing the layout of the color slots on the icon. We're hoping these new improvements will offer a better experience for Guardians looking to show off their best look. Okay, I mean, that's good. I remember a long time ago, they also made like a slight tweak. This is like years ago, but this will give you, instead of having to go through and like select over and over like all the different shaders and do trial and error to see what looks the best. But let's be real, everybody's just gonna be rocking Superblack. This is too cluttered. I mean, you walk away with it going, all right, I've got some pink, a little bit of neon green in here, you know, yeah, red and black. I think I like it. I really don't give a shit though. I mean, you think your drip is gonna save you against the witness? You think that's gonna save you? You think looking good is gonna stop him from plowing into your ass round after round? No. If anything, if you look better, it'll just make it worse, probably. You know what I mean? My thing is, I've never really cared about my drip. Okay, I care about just having good stuff on, unless it's the Witcher armor set. Then it matters. All right, PvP Strike Team update. Hello everyone, PvP Strike Team here to talk about special ammo in the Crucible. Since update 7.3.5, we've been doing a substantial amount of iteration on our special ammo distribution systems. We tried the meter system in multiple playlists, as well as 2 different versions of the ammo crate system in competitive hardware, and for a limited time in trials. Some people ask why we are bothering to do this level of experimentation, and we like to explain it. The respawn system. The original special ammo distribution system was brought into the game with Forsaken, and combined with allowing players to pick up ammo from defeated opponents, it eventually peaked in a short period of time where special weapons eclipsed primary weapons for the final blows in Crucible. We walked it back several times, mostly focused on how much ammo you could pick up from bricks on the ground, but we were still left in a position of one-shot kill special weapons, making up a substantial percentage of Crucible final blows and contributing to many of the issues with sandbox readability we have discussed before. While the respawn system had its issues and we felt there was some room for improvement, it did do a decent job of balancing ammo distribution between high and low performing players, with high performing players on average utilizing special ammo 1.5 to 2 times more than low performing players. Similarly, with years of the systems in place, the special weapon meta has solidified nicely. Shotguns were at the top with around 47% of special weapon kills. Snipers and fusions combined to make up 43%, and all of the special weapons were the remaining 10%. Bunch of apes, man. You guys just running around with shotguns. We really got up to 47%? Good God. Now, when investigating changes to the respawn system, it became apparent that we were very limited in terms of how we could tune the system to get the desired effects. And that led us to investigate 2 additional systems. While we wanted to be able to solve the problem of too many one-hit kills in PvP, it was important to us that the new systems did not introduce new and potentially worse problems. Okay, all right. Now, the meter system. To understand the meter system, we first need to take you through its development. The system was originally intended to be experimental, utilized only in the temporary labs mode. Checkmate. It was built using a combination of other existing systems co-opted from various parts of the game that allowed us to do things we could not usually do in Crucible, like retaining the state of the meter between lives and between rounds, an invisible stat on the scoreboard. The scoreboard the game reads back every time you respawn, dropping ammo directly onto the player in a transmat, an invisible ammo crate that opens directly above you and then deletes itself. Wow. Carrying the full amount of ammo over between deaths, utilizing the logic system we use at PvE activities to re-grant you ammo on spawn, and displaying the current progress of the meter, the UI bar, borrowed from exotic weapons and activities buffs. Reception to the system in Checkmate was mixed, but we saw there was a lot of potential in our first truly earnable special ammo system. Since its introduction, we've iterated on it several times, including earlier this week, and have gotten it into a much more acceptable state. Unfortunately, as the meter system has been exposed to the wider game for an extended period, we have run into 2 core issues which have required us to continue to look for possible solutions. Balance issues. The overall balance of the meter system in the wider sandbox has been concerning. It primarily benefits one player type over all others, with players who routinely perform above average in their lobbies getting the double benefits of having more special ammo than the respawn system allowed at a certain point in the game, while their opponents often have much less. In the meter system, high-performing players are earning special ammo at 3.5 times the rate of lower-performing players, a delta which has led to many non-high-performing players abandoning special weapons entirely. I'm gonna be honest, guys, we use special, but I just use my primary. There's so many times by the end of the game, I'm sitting with like 8, 9, 10 shots of special. Now, competitive, for example, with the meter system in use, lower-performing players were more likely to get kills with heavy ammo weapons than they were with special ammo weapons. The weapon balance has become similarly one-sided, as it promotes shotguns as the main solution, and all other special weapons are perceived as no longer useful for most players when in an ammo-limited situation. Under the meter system, shotguns have more than 76% of special weapon kills. Good God, so it's gone up. With fusion to snipers reduced to a combined 18%, the rest of the special weapons making up only 6%. This has led to a very rich get richer meta, where the best performing players and weapons are now even stronger by comparison, without having to do anything differently. Earlier this week, we took steps to improve on these issues. The difficulty we face in the systems where special ammo is almost entirely earned is what we have limited room to close the gap between high and low performers before its functionality becomes everyone gets special ammo on a timer, which is something we would like to avoid. I don't know, dude. Look, this paragraph really just boils down to we've got people that don't know how to use their primaries and they're suffering. Yeah, that's exactly how it should be. That's a get good moment. Learn to use your damn primary. Now, technical issues. Balance problems aside, being built on tech that was not designed to be used in this way has exposed multiple issues that upon investigation, we determined could not be easily fixed in the meter current state. Some things like being able to notify opponents that an ammo transmat has occurred or give starting ammo on join in progress are already apparent to players. Other problems, which are far more significant, appear in the backend and affect how we handle several of the processes, impacting our ability to both balance and maintain the system in the long term. Functionally, these combined issues require us to rebuild the meter from the ground up as a new, dedicated system. We feel the system has shown enough merit that this is something we are undertaking for a future release. All right. Yeah, I know. I've experienced some of the technical issues too, but I think it's a great system. I'm a fan of the meter system. Get good, and he wonders why PvP population keeps dying. Hey Ron, do you think I care? I care about one thing and one thing only: my Crucible experience. That is the only thing I care about. Okay, I don't care about your experience, her experience. I care about just my experience. All right, and let me just say this: since these changes to special, my experience has gone up substantially. I'm having the best of fucking times. I'm having a wonderful time, and if that means you must suffer, so be it. You know, but it is a great system for me. I am being selfish right now. All right, the crate system. As a potential fallback for the meter system, the special ammo crate system was resurfaced and iterated upon. The crate system has several benefits from a design perspective, including the ability to place crates in key zones around the map to help encourage players' movement in non-objective or objective optional modes to prevent coagulation around a single power position. as well as offering the ability to delay special weapons pushes in round-based modes. The crate system has also, based on its time in competitive trials, done some positive things in terms of moving special ammo distribution closer to the healthy values. The delta between high and low performing players has moved back to 2.4 times and has led to less late game snowball, as players who do try to hoard special ammo lose it upon death. Weapon balance is similarly improved, although not optimal, and there is significantly increased variety, with shotguns coming down to 59% of the kills, fusion and snipers combining for 28% of the kills, and all of the special weapons increase to 13% of the kills. Ultimately, the crate system in isolation also has several major problems. It can present a frustrating amount of friction between playing in the game how you want and playing the game how you need to if you want to run a special ammo weapon. Additionally, in round-based modes, it is too frictionless to run double special ammo weapons. It is also the first system we have introduced that allows players to directly influence the special ammo economy of the opposing team, as controlling most crates can help starve the other team with special ammo. From a strategic perspective, this is an interesting mechanic, but with no other way to earn special ammo in gameplay, it serves to be more frustrating than fun, and many players have struggled to adapt to the change, causing additional friction when playing in match-made teams. Here we go. The blended 1-1-1 system. Each of the above listed systems has both positives and negatives. In isolation, each system helps and hurts a different part of the population, but none of them holistically solves the special ammo problem. The respawn system offers a safe distribution of ammo amongst players, and the ease of availability promotes special weapon diversity. But giving 2 kills worth to every player, every life, also results in far too many 1-hit kills for a healthy sandbox. The meter system allows players to earn special ammo in a deterministic way and increases the rate of earning if you're playing well, which feels rewarding for high-performing players. On the other hand, for low-performing players, it feels significantly worse, and it promotes a homogeneous special weapon meta. The crate system allows us to promote movement around the map, alter pushing timing, reward map control, and give players more direct control over the amount of special ammo in the play for their opponents. It also causes significant friction by forcing conflict with optimal player flows and between match-made teams, and it allows too much special ammo in round-based modes. The solution we have settled on is a blended system we refer to as the 1-1-1, taking parts of each of the above systems and combining them to solve the problems introduced by each system. So starting with point number 1 here, players will respawn each life with 1 kill worth of special ammo for their chosen weapon. This serves as a stopgap for players to make sure they are never going long amounts of time with an empty weapon, and encourages more players to continue utilizing special weapons, albeit in a limited fashion. Setting the ammo at 1 instead of 2 kills worth ensures that there is not a surprise or not a surplus of special ammo that is available for minimum effort. Spawning with 1 also functions as a healthy midpoint between spawning with none in the crate system and retaining all ammo with the meter. Now, all primary weapon final blows will drop a personal ammo brick that rewards 1 kill's worth of special ammo. This is our deterministic, earnable method of distributing ammo in the blended system until our purpose-built version of the ammo meter is ready. What this means is that any of your final blows with a primary weapon will drop an ammo brick that only you can pick up, regardless of whether the opponent you defeated has special ammo on them. Likewise, if you defeat a player who has special ammo using a special ammo weapon, that will not drop a brick on the ground. So like the meter system, you cannot use special to directly earn more special. We'll also be initially introducing this specific portion of the system into the competitive playlist starting next week to help address players' complaints about the economy in those modes. So the physical brick will drop on the guardian that you killed. So you're gonna have to close the gap to still pick it up versus getting a kill and it immediately is in my special weapon, okay? Crates will continue to exist, but their icon visibility range on the HUD has been decreased, and they will only provide a single kill's worth of special ammo when open. These crates will continue to serve as points of interest around a map, but it will no longer be a requirement for players to interact with them to partake in the special ammo system. They will instead function as a small bonus for players who take the time to engage with them, and an optional midpoint step for players to gain special ammo that is more effort than simply responding with it, but less effort than getting a primary weapon final blow. We're very excited to introduce this system sometime after the launch of the final shape, and we greatly appreciate your patience and feedback as we have continued experimenting in our ongoing effort to improve Crucible. So are you always going to spawn with 1 shot of your special? So like if I run in and I shoot my 1 shot off from my Matador, when I respawn, will I always have 1? Look, I don't understand why we're going backwards on this, because this is just kind of returning back to the old system, but with ammo crates. Yes, it is less ammo, but it is returning back to that old system. And like Bungie, if you're looking at the analytics right now and you're like, dude, no one's playing Crucible right now, it's not because of the special changes. It's because Onslaught and Pantheon are in the game and everyone is playing that right now. Like, so if you've looked over the past 3 weeks. You're like, oh my God, player drop off is crazy right now. We must make changes. Everyone's playing other stuff. They're saying they're reworking the meter system due to technical issues. I mean, I get where they're coming from, and I understand why the thing about shotguns going to 76% of all special kills. I personally like the meter system. I think the meter system right now is just fine. But this will make less special. You can't just stack it unless you die a bunch. You get 1 kill and then you have to die. I mean, that is true, but you can stack up special because a primary weapon final blow will drop a personal ammo brick. So you get that 1000% pile up special ammo. Plus saying like shotguns or ruling the crucible with 76%. You know, you have to keep in mind there are some outliers to this. You know, you've got things like conditional finality, which is a phenomenal shotgun. And you know, what about other weapons, other primary weapons present in the energy slot that are really good? Summoner, what do you put with Summoner? Conditional finality. Igneous, what do you put with Igneous? Conditional finality. You go back to 1 kill after death, it seems. Oh, okay. So even if you do pile up ammo. Okay. We will see how this plays out. This is obviously something Bungie's going to roll out with us. I'm just saying, like, I think the ammo meter has been fine. I've been enjoying Crucible. All right, the Superblack shader now available. With the final 2 Brave weapons available this week, players will receive the final quest needed to unlock the much anticipated Superblack shader. Players can unlock the shader by earning the Superblack key Alpha from Shaxx and the Superblack key Omega from R-Site 9040. Using both will grant you access to the Superblack containment and to the shader. If you're a hunter or a player of any class, you'll want to grab this new shader and look your finest. It is pretty sexy. Kind of hit or miss on certain weapons. Outside of that, guys, Windows 7, Windows 8, you guys are going bye-bye. Players using these operating systems to play Destiny 2 are urged to upgrade to a more recent version of Windows or move to another platform so that their playtime won't be interrupted. Pantheon checkpoints due to an issue preventing players from progressing in the Pantheon when joining at a checkpoint. We've disabled checkpoints for the Caretaker and ZO'AURC exclusive planets. We are attempting to resolve this issue as soon as possible and will provide an update when we have more information to share. Now, Archie quest information. We've seen confusion surrounding the weekly Archie hunt quest and wanted to offer clarification. These quests are only intended to be available for 1 week each and were made with this time limit in mind. We understand that this is not ideal for all players, which is why we made the shader available for 1 completion for any of the weekly quests. The lore attached to these triumphs will become available to all players when the final shape launches on June the 4th. All right. Some known issues. In Onslaught, players may be teleported back to the incorrect ADU location. Still an issue. The ADU in Onslaught can occasionally despawn. Yep. We actually had a despawn, but that's because we wiped. On rare occasions, the spark of Onslaught can be lost. The portal to leave a boss phase in Onslaught will sometimes not open if you kill the boss too quickly. Guys, you need to make sure on waves 10 and even a little bit on 20, do not cook the boss too fast. Literally just let them chill for a second and then cook up because yes, it will not spawn the portal. Brave weapons, the reclusive hammerhead don't highlight enemies like the previous models. I thought they just fixed that. I could have swore they literally just fixed that. All right. As a final note here, that's everything we have for this week. Hopefully, you're enjoying the Pantheon so far. Remember, this is only the first wave of bosses and more are on the way. It only gets more fun from here. And we swear, that wasn't an evil laugh we were stifling. It's just a cough. We'll be back next week with another TWID. Until then, be good to each other. And thanks for hanging out with us, the Destiny 2 community team. There it is, guys. All right. That was a thicker TWAB than I anticipated. A lot of lore stuff they threw in there.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.